criteria, how good they are in those endless modes, how good they are at level cap, and also how fun they are to use and how easy they are to use. So let's go into it, starting with Ashe. Ashe is one of the more viable ones. He's definitely A or S tier because he's got the invisibility, and it's kind of annoying because you have to recast it like every 20 seconds, even with a lot of duration. It's just such a low duration ability, but it is on-demand silence or on-demand invisibility, which is really nice. Plus, he's got good damage because he gets the crit bonus from his augment. He gets the bonus slash damage, so I'm gonna put him in A tier. He's definitely a solid frame for endurance. Atlas has a lot of problems. Technically, he is permanently immune while he's punching, so I guess technically you could, especially in a survival, you could just non-stop punch for 8 hours. But he would have problems when he runs into a silences, nullifier bubbles, or the malice, or whichever it is, the acolyte that silences you. So yeah, he's got a lot of problems. I'm gonna put him in. I think I'm actually gonna put him in D tier. He just really seems really bad. Banshee has some good stuff going for her. She does insane weak point damage with her sonar, which is really nice. And her silence is like one of the best survivability tools because it shuts off the acolytes and all the eximists, which is pretty huge. So, but she does have to shield gate, so I'm gonna put her in A. She might be B. I'm gonna put her in B actually because her survivability is lacking, but she's a good shield gate frame, and the silence is really good, and her damage is really good. So I'm gonna put her in B. She could be an A though. Barruuk. I think Barruuk's probably in the D. He just doesn't have their survivability. His gloves, I don't know how much they scale. I don't think they really do enough damage, but really he just doesn't have their survivability. Past maybe level 1,000. Maybe I'll put him in C because he can health tank for a really long time. So I'll put him in C. Caliban got reworked, and so I really don't know how well the Caliban does with his rework. So I'm really not sure with Caliban. I do want to try him out and see how he is, but I'm guessing he's probably a B because he doesn't. I don't think he has the best survivability. So I'm gonna put him. I'll put him in C. Actually, I'll give him the benefit. No, I'll put him in C. I'm really not sure. Chroma can't really do it. He has to health tank. He does have really good damage with his Vex armor and all that. But yeah, he just health tanks until he can't go no more. I really do like his elemental armor though, because it's so flexible with the different colors. Citrine, I'm gonna put it B. She doesn't have the survivability. Again, she has CC, but you can't survive with CC because there's so much overguarded units, and her 90% damage reduction just isn't going to be enough. She has some of the best offensive stuff in the game, like her crystal and all that, and her her critical hit crystals, but yeah, I'm gonna put her in Banshee. She's kind of with Banshee, except I'd say Banshee is a little better because silence is better than what Citrine has for survivability. Okay, Cyto 9. This is who I'm actually currently enjoying a disruption on. Cyto 9, I'm gonna put. I might be a little biased because I'm playing him right now, but honestly, I think he's a S. I do think he's an S tier. Because he has permanent invisibility. The problem is you have to constantly be killing, and so sometimes in disruptions you have breaks, and if for some reason your invisibility does ever run out, then you have a cooldown, which is annoying. But as long as you can keep it up, he has permanent invisibility, which is really nice. He does massive damage with all his headshot multipliers, so really good on the damage front. He has lots of variety for how you want to play him. I mean, you basically have to do a headshot build, but you can use like lots of different headshot weapons, or you can use his his exalted sniper. So yeah, I'm gonna put Sidon 9 at S tier. I think he's quite good for the for pretty much all the endurance runs, and he can easily make to level cap. Degath, really good damage with her Doom. Armor strip with her 4. She's got excellent damage. She's got a really good slow with her 1. She just doesn't have the survivability. She has to constantly shield gate, so I'm gonna go with a not really for her. Dante's gotta be S. He's got the survivability. The only problem with his survivability is you do have to constantly be killing, so it can get a little bit dicey on like disruptions or void cascade when you're like running from A to B and you're not killing stuff. In a survivability, you never notice it because you're constantly killing in a survival. But yeah, for those other modes, Dante, I mean, he does have really good survivability, and then his damage is really good with his sickening pulse 4, I guess. But just his just the fact that he gets bonus status damage is really good. So excellent survivability, excellent damage. He's an S. Ember, yeah, Ember, I'm sorry to say, is no way. She's got armor strip, I guess, but yeah, she doesn't got it. There's not much to say about Ember. Same with Equinox. I just can't see it. I like to use Equinox for like clearing massive areas of like weaker enemies, but yeah, Equinox is just lacking in the survivability. Excalibur, I'm gonna put Excalibur in the not really, because he could do some stuff with his dash where he jumps from enemy to enemy and goes invulnerable, so you could kind of play around with that for some shield gating. And he has really good damage with the one where the more enemies around you, he gets like bonus like final damage multiplier. So he does have excellent damage. He's just another one of these guys who has some survivability, but it's just not enough. Frost is probably not really, because he is good. He's got the amazing way to freeze people and all that, and the crit damage, so he's like really good, but the survivability is just too much of an issue. Like the overguard you get from his 4 augment is just gonna disappear instantly. Yeah, he's got big survivability issues. It's almost a no way, but I'll put him in C. Gara, I don't know how Gara survives, honestly. I don't think Gara can do it. She obviously gets damage reduction, but that's gonna fall off. So yeah, I'm gonna put no way for Gara. I don't know how she would run an endurance. Garuda, I've never taken Garuda to level cap. She's definitely at least B, probably A. But I could see her being annoying to stay alive with, because her only survivability would be her 4. She would have to use her 4 to like shield gate. God, is she in B? Let me know if she's A, if you think she should be A, but I think she's B because she seems like she would actually kind of be a nightmare to stay alive with. Let me know if she's actually not that bad to stay alive with though. But I'm gonna put her in B because she has really good damage, obviously. Slash procs, 100% bonus damage from her passive, but Yeah, I don't think she has the survivability. So let me know if her survivability is not that bad. Gauss is definitely at least A. He might be S. I don't know that much about how he AoE nukes stuff. I hear it's pretty good. Obviously, it can full strip when he's overloaded. My biggest problem with Gauss is that he feels perfect when he is at 100% or whatever, but when he's not, it's not as fun, and so you basically spend like a third of the time or half the time, waiting. It's kind of like Kome, when like Kome's kind of annoying because it's like half the time you have to be freaking doing her stupid tasks, and then the other half you get to actually play. But yeah, Gauss, he gives massive like fire rate, reload, just really good for weapons. And then he has really good shield gating because his shield recharges so fast. So you really only have to worry about like nullifier bubbles and toxin procs and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna put him in A. I don't think he's S because he doesn't get as much damage boost or as much survivability as the S frames. The S frames are basically those ones that just get massive survivability and massive damage, which I don't think Gauss is quite at that level, but he's definitely a solid A. Grendel. Grendel can't really do endurance. He'll just die, unfortunately. And I don't think he has enough powerful tools to justify anything higher than D. Gyre, same. Gyre would just have to spam like pillage and stuff like that, so I'm gonna say no way for Gyre. Harrow. Now Harrow, you might think he'd be pretty good. He definitely has really good damage with all his headshot stuff, but his health tank, Crucible or Thurible or whatever, is useless, because you can't health tank. And then he does have unlimited energy as long as you keep his energy buff up. But his one, it's the overguard is just gonna get stripped immediately, and so yeah, you'll get your 2.5 seconds of shield gate. But then once that's deleted, and then you can't reapply the one to the enemies, so you're out of enemies to apply it to, especially in like a lower density disruption. You're gonna run out of enemies to one. You're just having to spam his one so much to stay alive, and then overguarded enemies, which like all the enemies are gonna be overguarded. Those ones can't even get snared. So I'm gonna say B. He can almost do it. He obviously gets invulnerability from his 4, but you can only keep it up half the time or whatever. So yeah, he's almost there, but he just doesn't quite have it. Hildren, I think she gets like a 4-second shield gate, which you would think would be good, but once she's out of shields, she can't even cast her spells. So I don't think Hildren has it. Hydroid has really good. He like full strips everything with his 14 or 16 corrosive procs. He can go invulnerable with his puddle in like shield gate, but it's not the most comfortable. But it is a way to survive. So he does have a way to survive at level cap, and he has really good damage. So for me, that's B tier. He can almost do it, and he can do it, but it's just not the most comfortable. In Naros, I don't think he can. Yeah, I don't think Inaros can level cap or even really go that much past 1,000. Ivara is very good. Yeah, she walks around and you have to like roll everywhere, which is kind of annoying. But she gets massive crit damage, which is such a powerful stat. She gets bonus, and yeah, you do have to be staying on the zip wire, but In survival, it's not a big deal, but I could in arbitrations, yeah, it's you can't really utilize the zip line as well. But they do last indefinitely, so I've never actually tried her on arbitration, but I could see, you post up your zip lines where you know that you like to fight the you know the demolishers, so that might be okay. But she also gets bonus headshot damage, which is also a really powerful stat. So yeah, good offense, good defense with her in permanent invisibility, which you don't have to worry about. One of the bad parts about Side 09 is you do have to constantly be getting those headshot kills. I've already just have to make sure you have mana. So the only thing that can really screw you on that is energy drain, disruptor, or nullifier bubble could take out your invisibility. Ivara might actually be S tier. I'm gonna put her S tier for now. We'll keep looking at how the list goes, but she's probably is S tier. Okay, Jade. So this is the first frame we've come across. I guess I didn't know much about who was the other one I didn't really know much about. I don't know. Yeah, Jade. I played her when she came out. I don't know much about her. I remember she was really good at nuking. Um, Basically any enemy in her line of sight, she could nuke. So I just don't remember what her survivability looks like. I'm gonna put her at C for now. Let me know if she actually has good survivability, but I don't remember being able to have that much survivability. Cora, I'm gonna put her at almost. Because normally I would say if you have to rely on shield gating, that's not enough. But with Cora, you can do like a super low shield, catalyzing shield, where you basically get a 1.5 second shield gate every time you push one, and you're spamming her one anyway, so it's not a big deal. So I'll put Cora at almost, because she does have insane damage and AoE damage, KPM through the roof, and snares an amazing ability. You can use it on demolishers. Her big problem, also two pets, is really nice to be able to have her pet plus like a sentient if you want. But her survivability, but she is one of the best shield gators, so put her in A, or sorry, put her in B. All right, Kome. So Kome is kind of the reason I came back to Warframe. I took a long break. Even with 1999 coming out, I wasn't really all that excited, but I actually watched another tier list. I think the YouTuber's name is Ketchup, and he said Kome was really good, and I was kind of excited to try her. I would personally would not put Kome terribly high. For me, it's the survivability problem. You have to run, you got to run some sort of like shield gate or overguard steal with that secondary. She does have a bug where you can get overguard with her, without having to use your secondary. But yeah, my problems with Kome, her tasks or her challenges or whatever, they're just tedious to do. I don't want to wall latch. I don't want to have to do all these sliding attacks. They're not terrible if you're in like a super high density survival and you have like super, bis weapons and you can just do it quick. But if you're in like an arbitration, not an arbitration, but a disruption, kind of lower enemy density. Plus, you don't want to take the time to do these challenges. In a disruption, you're kind of trying to do each round as fast as possible so you can get to level cap as fast as possible. So she's not great for that. She's definitely more of a survival frame. It's true that her offense, she probably does have the best offense in the game. I'm sure she does. Once you get to 120 decrees, she is gonna kill everything instantly, pretty much. But they're still shooting you before you can kill them. It's not like you can kill them before they even shoot you. So she does still need a way to survive, and she just doesn't have it. Her 50/50 heal spell, it isn't that great for survival. It's kind of useless actually. Yeah, she doesn't survive, and her challenges are kind of tedious to do, especially, you kind of have to make a build around her too. Like, if you don't have the right build, you might not even be able to do the headshot one, or, this and that. So I'm gonna put her at B. Yeah, I'm gonna put her at B just because she does get so crazy strong with her decrees. So she is almost kind of built for endurance, but she really does just lack the survivability. Kalervo, he's kind of in this cannot survive tier. Yeah, he just doesn't have a way to survive. Same with Lavos. Limbo is an interesting one. Limbo is one I do want to learn more about. Because, I know you can just go into the Rift. He's a really interesting one. I'm going to put him at almost. He might even be a good one. Oh, man. I'm just throwing him in. Is he good at endurance? I'm going to put him in good, but I don't know that much about him. But I know that, he has his alternate dimension. So I can imagine if you are, skilled at going in and out, then he actually wouldn't be a problem. So yeah, I'm gonna put him in good. Let me know about Limbo. Maybe I should Google Limbo level caps. But for now, I'll put him in good because I have a feeling he actually is viable. Okay, Loki is very good. It's not just that he has invisibility on demand with I'm pretty sure it's longer duration than Ash, but it's also his invulnerability. He has the best invulnerability in the game. Because true, you do have to target an enemy to use it, so there's that. But it's actually you can walk into nullifier bubbles and it doesn't get rid of it. You can get silenced and it doesn't get rid of it. It's like a true intangibility. So I would say Loki is actually the most survivable Warframe in the game. Yeah, because his survivability is just through the roof. His problem is he doesn't really have that great of a offensive game. You kind of just have to put broken weapons on him. He does have his one where the decoy, where all the enemies attack it and then it primes them, which is nice. So I'm gonna put him in. I'm gonna put him in good, cause I almost want to put him in S, cause his survivability is just so free. Like, you do not have to worry about acolytes. Like, if an acolyte, it doesn't matter which one it is. If it silences you, if it puts up a Zephyr wind bubble, like, you just switch teleport to it, you're immune, and you just stand there. So Loki's survivability is extremely free. It's better than Avara's, it's better than Dante's, it's better than Shadow 9's. He doesn't care about toxin. Enemy weapons with toxin, doesn't matter. I mean, that one's a little tricky because you do have to pay special attention to make sure you don't, get out of your invulnerability. But yeah, I'm going to put him in S because his survivability is just through the roof. Mag, I'm going to put Mag in A. I think she does have it. Obviously, there's, those videos and runs of people doing survivals where they sit in a corner and just spam her magnetic bubble. That is one way to play. How viable she is, like in more of a void cascade or, disruption where you have to move around. She's not as good for that, but I do think she is still viable. Survivability wise, you probably would, she does get a bunch of overshield from her 4. But, if you place her bubbles, her mag bubbles well, those do suck in all the bullets. So, you can kind of strategically place those to protect yourself. So I'll put her in A. Mesa. Mesa has really good offense. She just can't really survive, so I'm gonna put her at not really. She can, as long as she's constantly killing stuff, she can keep flashbang. It's like a flashbang grenade, blind everyone. But you don't always want to have to constantly be killing. So she's definitely no higher than C. She might even be D, but I'll give her the benefit of the doubt because she does have that pretty good a pretty good blind. Mirage can't really survive as far as I know. So we'll just put her in D. Yeah, she can't really survive. She does have one of the best weapon buffs in the game, one of the best weapon platforms. So I would almost want to put her in C, but she really just she just does not have a way to survive. You would have to like shield gate molt or some shield gate helmet on her. And I know you can Vazer and dash spam any character in the game, but I just really don't like that playstyle, so I'm basically excluding that from this tier list. Because if I did include Vaz dashing, like, yeah, I guess everyone would be S tier. Necros, I don't think he can do it. Neja, I don't think Neja can do it. He's kind of like in the Rhino boat where you can set it up where if you get like a giant room of enemies, you just stand there and let them attack you. He can get like a massive shield. But Neza can't even do it as well as Rhino because a percent of the damage still goes to your health. He does have a good damage buff or enemy vulnerability with his chakra. He's really fast too, which is nice. But yeah, I don't... Actually, I think I'll put him in C. I guess he's more of a not really. He might be a D, but I don't know. I'm gonna say, at least he can probably get to level 1000 or 2000 with his 3. I'll put him there. Nidus is weird. Because he does have like a health gate type deal where he can just like keep coming back to life. I don't really know how viable that is. I'm gonna say not really. Let me know if Nidus can do it though. But I just see him getting one-shotted over and over too much, and you're just gonna spend all your time trying to keep your stacks up so you can keep reviving. Nova can't really do it. I don't see her having the survivability. Yeah, no. Nyx is incredibly durable. I mean, ever since you changed her 4, it doesn't annihilate your mana pool, so she can just sit in her 4 forever. So other than her insane survivability, she does have the downside that you have to roll everywhere. So you do kind of have to build around your roll. And yeah, but the plus side is she's indestructible. She has an armor strip. It's also a shield strip, so it's just like a total defense strip, so that's good. Problem is she doesn't have any other types of weapon buffs, which all the other S tiers have. But her survivability is like one of the freest in the game. It might even be more free than Loki. It's not as strong as Loki's because it can be nullified and all that by like the Demolith bubble and all the nullification, whereas Loki's cannot. But it's just so easy to use. You just use it and you just sit there. So I'm gonna put her in S because she also has her mind control, which at level cap, like the damage of your mind control unit is just gonna be so insane. And so if for some reason your weapons do fall off, maybe you're testing something out and for whatever reason your weapons stop killing, your mind control person will basically like just do tens of millions of damage even to fully armored enemies. So Nyx, she is an S tier. Oberon, I'm gonna say no way. I can't really see Oberon doing it. And I don't know why you'd want to try and get him to do it. Octavia's, I'm gonna say she's good. I could see an argument for S tier, but the crouch spam is annoying. I don't like that. Um, she does have really good weapon buffs though, but I'm just gonna put her in A tier. The crouch spam is just too obnoxious for me personally, but she might be an S tier. But her other skills just aren't that useful either. She's basically just an invisible, an invisible character with multi-shot, and then she can make the little thing for the enemies to chase and kill themselves. But yeah, she could be S tier. I'm just gonna put her in A because of the play style and the build varieties. Also, I'm also factoring that in. Protea is actually really good. She's kind of like Gauss in that she just has an insane shield regeneration. She also has the turrets that if you build around them, they can scale to really good damage. Infinite mana and ammo. So yeah, I'll put her in A. I don't think she's quite S because she doesn't quite have the... she's not much of a gun platform. But she is a good nuker. So I'm gonna put her in A. Corvex, nope. Okay. I mean, sorry if you're a Corvex enjoyer, he just can't survive like all the other ones. It's ironic because he's one of the highest armor ones, but all he really does is spread a bunch of radiation. I tested him out a lot. I played around with him because I thought his grouping ability is really cool and unique, that he is like a hallway. I thought that was really cool. I thought his 4 was really cool, how it does like a chain reaction. But yeah, his buff with it makes the ring of rocks around you, that was just kind of a lame, useless ability. And then the little pylons that give out radiation, I thought was kind of lame. So... But yeah, essentially for this list, he's just doesn't have the survivability. Okay, Revenant. This is one everyone knows. Revenant is God mode. The question is he A or is he S? Because he's one of the few frames that has a super good way to survive. But he doesn't have any gun platform stuff. He is able to nuke the enemies if you do want to turn them into zombies and jump through them. And it's also really good movement. He has really good movement speed with his 2, or whichever one you turn into a puddle and fly through people. He has really good survivability. It's not the best, which might be a surprise, but it can still get silenced off, and you can't get hit by nullifying stuff, because that will take off his mesmer skin compared to like Loki's invulnerability, which cannot be removed. And so I guess other than Loki, he probably is the most survivable frame, but he is super easy to use and play. But he just doesn't have that increased damage that lets you do the crazy damage numbers. So he basically has to use the same meta weapons, which there are plenty of weapons in the game. I mean, you can, as long as you prime the enemies, you can kill level cap. But I'm going to put him in A just because of his lack of damage. Rhino can almost. I'm going to put him in almost. His way to survive is just too tedious. It's kind of like how I was saying with Neja. You have to find a room of enemies to shoot you. And then you get a bunch of overshield, but then, yeah, it's just annoying to do. It's not on the level of survivability of the A tiers. He does have a really good, offensive capability, obviously, with Roar being one of the best abilities in the game for damage. He also has one of the best CCs, because it's one of the few abilities that goes through the overshield. I'm pretty sure Stomp knocks up overshield enemies. It also knocks up the acolytes, which is really nice. But so he's almost A. I'm gonna put him pretty high A, but I don't think he's quite A. His survivability is just too annoying. It's doable, so that's why he's not C or D, because C or D is like not really doable unless you want to like fast dash or spam some shield gate. Okay, Saryn. So normal tier list has her on S like every time instantly because she, I guess, kills everything with her abilities. She is one of the best killers for abilities. Obviously, Toxic Lash, best weapons buff. You know, her one, as long as you keep enemies infected, it basically goes forever, scales up. Survivability wise, though, she just does not have it. Molt is almost, I'd say Molt is almost B tier, but if you're having to rely on Molt to survive, it's just not, it's not a great experience. So yeah, I'm gonna put Saryn at C tier. Because yeah, she does have the amazing offense, but her defense is just too lacking. Okay, Sevagoth, one of the newer Prime frames. He came out when I took a break. I looked at Sevagoth a few days ago. I finished him and was testing him out. I have a few big problems with Sevagoth. Number one, if you do end up dying with him, you know, most of these characters, if you do end up dying, you know, which happens a lot throughout a, you know, 3-4 hour run, you know, maybe you got energy drained, toxic enemy weapons, all sorts of stuff can happen. You know, God forbid you're not 100% focused and you make a mistake. Problem with Sevagoth is you don't turn into your operator and, you know, get a chance. You have to use his stupid passive, which you'd think, oh, you just get 5 kills, but once you get to level 1000 enemies, they're one-shotting your passive ghost. And it's also really hard to kill the enemies, even though it's supposed to one-shot them, but if they're overshielded, and a lot of times, like, all the enemies are overshielded for some reason. And so basically what I'm saying is, if you do die with him, it's a bitch. You're basically probably going to have to revive unless there's a bunch of, you know, unoverguarded enemies nearby. I really wanted to like him and I wanted to make him work because his Reap and Sow is so cool with the damage vulnerability and the bonus crit damage and you know, they explode. Like, he's such a cool nuke frame, but I just wasn't able to get it to work, and you basically have to like go into his 4 over and over. It's just, I found it to be a pretty annoying loop, but he is one that I do think he has potential, and I bet there are better ways to play him. So I'm gonna put him in almost for now. I'd like to say he's good. I don't think he could ever. I don't really see him ever being an S tier, but I think he could be a good one. But for me right now is I just couldn't get him to work. All right, Stynax. Can Stynax do stuff? I know he was like a nuke slash frame, but I don't think he has survivability. I'm gonna put him in D. Yeah, I don't think he has survivability, and his nuke isn't really that good. Titania, don't think so. Trinity, okay, I mean, just to say a word about Titania, I guess, I mean, she just doesn't have any survivability. Her whole point is that she flies through the levels really fast, but you don't need to do that on an endless. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe let me know if I'm missing something, but yeah, I don't see Titania as having anything. Okay, yeah, and this is kind of why I wanted to do this tier list, because this is kind of more what I'm interested in. You know, a normal tier list like I've done in past years, you take, you know, a frame like Titania and you have to factor in that she is, you know, the meta, but the best frame in the game for a lot of, you know, just flying through, you know, relic openings and stuff like that. And it's just annoying to have to factor all those things in. Like, oh yeah, Chrome is really good at Profit Taker. So that's why I'm doing this kind of list. I don't have to think about all that stuff. Okay, who are we on? Trinity. Trinity got reworked. I honestly haven't played her since her rework. I could see her maybe being in the B, maybe even the A. I honestly couldn't tell you though. I don't know. I just don't know. I kind of want to try her, but I kind of don't because I'm pretty sure she doesn't have any offensive buffs. As far as I know, I think she's just survivability, but hey, if she's able to do a level 10,000, that's at least B because there's just so few frames that can survive it. So I'll put her in B. Let me know if Trinity's got some stuff. Valkyr. Valkyr's probably B. You know, there's really only one way to play her. You just go invulnerable with their claws. But, you know, they're the best part about them for me is you just do that slide attack or whatever, heavy attack, and you one-shot the acolytes, which is really fun. Problem is, you know, anytime, you know, if you're killing a demolist or something, you know, and she gets purged out of it, it's bad news. I'll put her B, because, you know, she also lacks the variety. It's basically one way to play her. Valbon, I don't see how Valbon could survive. I've seen tier lists where they place Valbon a little higher, but I don't. Can he survive? Let me know if he can survive. I don't think Valbon can. He'd have to like shield gate with one of his like gadgets, I guess. I don't know. Volt. Nope, he can't survive. Nope, no way. I wish Volt's one of those that would be good because he's such a good frame. He moves so fast. You know, you can buff his weapons with massive electricity and crit damage. So he would be like really good for flying through disruption rounds, but he just dies. Varuna is actually very good. She's one of the best, if not the best, melee weapon buffer in the game. With her crit damage, I think it's only works on melee. Yeah, not yet. I'm pretty sure it's only melee weapons. But she actually has good survivability because she can go invisible, and you know, it's not like the Ashe. It's not like the other frames invisibility in that it actually does get broken when you oh yeah, that's the other thing about Ivara I forgot to mention is you do have to silence your weapons, so that's a little bit of a knock against her. But anyway, back to Varuna. You do have to silence the you do have to spam the one every time you break your invisibility, so that's a little bit tedious, but she can do it if you're willing to spam that invisibility. She does insane damage, especially with, you know, Clerva's crit damage or crit chance. So yeah, very solid endurance frame. Wisp. See, Wisp, for me, she's in between A and B because, yeah, her survivability is tedious. It's kind of like Hydroid's survivability. She can spam her two to go invulnerable, but that sounds like it'd be really tedious to have to constantly be spamming it. She is also able to be invisible while jumping, but then you have to constantly be jumping. So, and all for what? So that you can have breach surge, and I mean her motes are good because, you know, you're shocking everyone and, you know, good attack speed. I'll put her in B. She's almost, her survivability is just a little too jank. Wukong, I don't think he can really do it. I think I tried one time with his, because I thought his Defy would be good enough, but it didn't scale as much as I thought it would. So yeah, Wukong, probably not, probably no way. Zaku, I don't know how Zaku would survive. Obviously, he's got really good offense with the stealing enemy weapons and all that, and he permanently full armor strips an area with the one that you know, takes the enemy and puts them in the spikes. But yeah, it's just survivability. Ureli, she's got her Marilina. She has to health tank. And then after her Marilina can't health tank no more, she dies. So She's probably not really. She might be a no way. She does have really good enemy debuff and, suck enemies in type stuff, but I think it's a no way. And finally, Zephyr, finishing strong. Zephyr's turbulence is insane. It stops all the bullets. So, yeah. So Zephyr has the survivability as long as you don't let someone get close and hit you, because it's gonna stop all the bullets. She's got the bonus crit when she's in the air, which, yeah, I guess it's a little tedious. You kind of have to jump if you want to utilize that. But yeah, the tornadoes are really insane. Bonus damage, CC. She's got really good and really unique movement with her one. You can just like fly across the map, but it's like really hard to use. But if you practice it, you can actually get pretty good at flying around with her one. I think it's her one. Because she also has the suck-in ability, so she's got a lot of stuff. The suck-in ability, you could use that for stacking up your crescendo if you want. Yeah, Zephyr is very good. She might even be S, actually. She probably is S. Movement, damage, survivability. Yeah, I'm going to say she's S. All right, well, I believe that is everyone. I don't think I missed anyone I don't think this tier list was missing anything. So that is my endurance level 1 all the way up to level 9999 tier list. I just kind of want to look at the top 2 rows and see how the order is. I mean, they're all so good. Cyto9, his problem is he is limited to headshot builds because he needs the headshots to keep up his invisibility. Also, invisibility is kind of not as good. Loki has the best survivability, but he doesn't have the damage. Ivara's not as fast. It's kind of interesting because they do all have their ups and downs. So it's hard to say. Dante, he has to constantly be killing. So yeah, it's actually kind of hard to say. Nyx is pretty free, but she doesn't have a damage buff. Yeah, it's hard to say the order. But I am pretty confident, in my in the S versus the A tiers and all that. Maybe Octavia should be S, but the crouch spam is just so annoying. Revenant maybe should be S. Anyway, that's my tier list. 2025. I didn't think I was gonna do one this year, but 1999 came out, listened to a few other creators' tier lists, and it kind of got me motivated to make one. So please let me know what you think if you made it this far. Thanks for watching. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it if you made it this far. Or if you hate watching, I guess that's okay too. Leave a comment, and happy warframing.